on with the pay-per-view on the WWE Network on Sunday.
And you know what, though?
But like I said, the amount of live shows are going to be the same because that Raw would just be a pay-per-view the night before. The pay-per-view would just be a house show. And the ratings would go up. The ratings took a big hurt this week because of the NBA playoffs going on. That's what they're saying the excuse is. But that, ratings took another hit because of that factor. And I just feel that, like I say, it could be simulcast. And the UFC Fight Pass right now doesn't give you pay-per-views. It gives you pre-pay-per-view stuff. So if the WWE Network just gave you even the kickoff show to these pay-per-views and had the exclusive kickoff show, I don't see people canceling the network.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the way I look at it is I know a lot of folks in the new digital age, the cord cutters. People are getting rid of cable at higher rates than, there's articles even on different websites right now where people are cutting the cord and getting rid of everything except for maybe a Hulu or what's the other one? The Sling TV.
Yes.
I could see that working for folks where it's like, cool, I can watch Monday Night Raw on the WWE Network. And you got to look at it the other way. You have to look at it that way because I know a lot of people that wait until it's available on Hulu the next day because they're not paying for cable. Who wants to spend that kind of money on cable?
Well, that could be good for the USA Network, too, because of the fact that, let's say, maybe make these exclusive on the USA Network, these pay-per-views, and that would mean there's going to be I know USA Network's available on Sling TV and some of these other options, but for the most part...
Well, Hulu, you got to watch the next day.
Well,
you're not watching it live.
There's a few live, offers. Like I said, Sling TV is one of them. And I think PlayStation TV is one of them where you can watch a few live channels or smaller packages. So it would get people to maybe keep cable around or get one of these packages where they're paying USA Network directly just to watch pay-per-views. So you got the WWE Network and you have this. You're not just going to have one or the other. And I feel a lot of people still have cable, again, the USA Network. They want to watch Raw live. I just feel it'd be good for both. I feel the ratings would be better than a regular Monday Night Raw. And I don't feel that if you still kept a good amount of contact, let's say you still make the SmackDown pay-per-views or something like that, or you still make this women's tournament that's coming up or the NXT, you've got enough live content that nobody's going to drop a $9.99 service. Even if it just had NXT or just had the UK tournament or just 205 Live, you got enough on there. So, let's try to get the pay-per-views. Yeah. And again, I don't understand. This is the weirdest thing to me always in the history of the world is that in pro wrestling, and WWE specifically, more people watch the less important stuff because it's on regular television. For example, Mick Foley one time, or Triple H one time, when he won his first championship the night after SummerSlam, he was supposed to win it at SummerSlam 99, but he ended up winning it the next night. They gave it to Mick Foley at SummerSlam, and he said the caveat or the good part of it that more people saw it because 3 times as many people watch the Monday Night Raw after SummerSlam. Could you imagine that more people watch regular season NFL games than the playoff games because the playoff games are not available to everybody? It's strange
yes.
that 3 million people watch the Raw after WrestleMania when only 1 million people watch WrestleMania.
Jarod, let me ask you this. I know we're beating the drum on this, but let me ask you this. Vince McMahon being the innovator that he is, do you think at some point, I know HBO is kind of going on their own way. A lot of the streaming services, not all of them are going to have HBO because HBO, they do well enough on their own where they can have a standalone product. I'm not saying it's going to happen next year or anything. Do you ever see WWE, if they make enough revenue, going standalone? Where do you, I'm not saying right away, but that could happen, don't you think in 10, 15 years?
I think the USA Network is a real big one for them right now. I know the WWE Network is great, but I don't think that they're anywhere near the place where they want to take shows off actual television. It wouldn't be for a while,
but what your idea? If they took your idea, that could almost be planting the seeds for a future standalone product. Jarod, that's a great idea. I would. You can't do it obviously every month. Maybe maybe do it, handful of times a year. But
I'm kind of going. Kind of actually the opposite. If you're kind of getting my drift here, is I'm kind of going towards maybe getting more stuff on actual television. Maybe someday WrestleMania, because of the fact that now that the WWE Network's $9.99, now that we can watch WrestleMania for essentially free, so you're not giving us a $70 product that before you used to sell it for $70. So I could see why it wouldn't just be on NBC on a Sunday night. But now the fact that we're already paying $9.99 for the network and watching WrestleMania, or some of us with a trial are watching it for free. Maybe it could be a time where you move it to regular television because you're still going to get our $9.99, and then you're going to get more eyeballs, and you're not feeling like you're losing that pay-per-view.
Yeah, but I
like
think
WrestleMania could be on NBC.
The WWE, here's the
and
thing,
SmackDown is showing us why, because they cut the commercials just like a pay-per-view.
Yeah, but WWE
and still keep the action going.
They won't. I don't see Vince McMahon ever do, like, I don't see WWE, Vince McMahon, Triple H and the gang there. I don't ever see them doing that, because the purpose, the selling point for them, and they say every time, you guys watch the broadcast just as much as I do. Their selling point is, you get the free trial in $9.99 for a pay-per-view. I don't see them ever going in that direction. That's why I think it'd be flip-flopped to be. That's the way
but
I'm
they have
looking
enough
at it.
network. They have enough stuff on the network that they could still sell us the $9.99. And maybe, like I said, they have so many pay-per-views. And if they had more pay-per-views like this conversation first started, they could still have exclusive WWE Network pay-per-views, but still have a lot of them, and a majority of them, let's say, on the USA Network. I think it's time for WrestleMania to be on NBC and now, or USA Network, or a national. It's time to be on regular television.
You won't see it.
For my mom to be able to turn it on and to just see it, so that she knows that WrestleMania is such a big deal. We lost Paul there for a second there. I guess we're going to have to get him back. But to continue this conversation going, I just feel that it's time for WrestleMania to be on regular television, like the Super Bowl, like the World Series, like all these things it compares itself to, except for the reason that it's not the Super Bowl or the World Series is because it's on a limited television channel, whether it be pay-per-view or it be the WWE Network. It's on a limited channel. So I feel that now that we've lost the pay-per-view aspect for the most part from WWE, now that we're pretty much just watching it for free or for very little amount of money, it wouldn't cost them a cent more to just say, let's just go all out. We're giving it for free to so many people.
I don't think they would, though. I don't think they would, because that's the big selling point. I know a lot of casual WWE fans. They only have the network. They're not watching the original stuff. They're just watching the pay-per-views. They're like, okay, I go and back in the day, we'd watch it for $60-$70. Like a lot of folks, they only have the network for one reason only, so they can watch the pay-per-views. That's what it is. A lot of them don't watch the original series. I do. I watch the different the Edge and Christian show. Different, then they have like the 24 thing where they had like a Finn Balor special. I watch that stuff, but I know a lot of, talking to a lot of fellow, WWE fans like ourselves, a lot of them just watch it. They only pay for the network for one reason only, and to get the pay-per-views. All
right. That was I think probably a great topic. It kind of came from out of nowhere. That's how this podcast works.
What we do.
But when we return, we will get to the 3 questions that we've been pondering this week, as this is the Heel to the Face podcast on Sports War Radio, Rat Pack Radio, and on iTunes.
The New York Jets are rising and are ready to compete in the AFC. Boyd Green and Ty Butler will give you everything you need to know about the Jets every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. From reviewing the previous game and looking ahead to the next matchup, to all of the news and 4 downs, the Jet Zone has everything. Follow at BoydGreen25 and at Ty D. Butler on Twitter. Proud member of Sports War Radio. Let the battle begin.
This program is simulcast on WRPR Rat Pack Radio. Go to ratpacksports.com for more information.
Do you want to stay up to date on the latest sports news? Come check out After the Whistle from 4 to 5 p.m. every Friday night. We talk about the NHL, we talk about the NFL, we talk about the MLB, you name it, we got it. Tune in on Sports War Radio.
Now is the time to get your voice heard. Sports War Radio is now accepting applications for driven and knowledgeable sports fans who want to start their very own podcast about their favorite team. Sports War Radio has an international audience and is growing fast. Don't miss the chance to become the go-to news source for your favorite team. Email sportswarradio@gmail.com and tell us why you would be a great addition to our team. Sports War Radio. Let the battle begin.
Now is the time to get your voice heard. Sports War Radio is now accepting applications for driven and knowledgeable sports fans who want to start their very own podcast about their favorite team. Sports War Radio has an international audience and is growing fast. Don't miss the chance to become the go-to news source for your favorite team. Email sportswarradio@gmail.com and tell us why you would be a great addition to our team. Sports War Radio. Let the battle begin.
Let's get back to the action. This is the Heel to the Face podcast on Sports War Radio.
Back on the Heel to the Face podcast. It is time. What was that? Rammstein there? At
Rammstein,
the end?
baby.
Rammstein.
Yeah.
I heard that little BDSM German thing in the background there. But now it is time for the 3 count, the 3 questions we've been pondering this week. We are going to start with our Twitter question of the week. This past Tuesday was the 18th anniversary of the falling of Owen Hart. And my question is, it's kind of one that a lot of people say, well, duh, but it does have some merit to it. Does Owen Hart deserve, or should he be, in the WWE Hall of Fame? We're going to start with Paul. Paul, what is your answer to that?
Yes, the collective duh for the rest of the fan base. I think 100%. He's part of the Hart family. I think obviously his career was derailed and his life was derailed by the accident that happened. But I think 100% that he's a Hall of Famer. I think there's no question. I think what's interesting is going to be the timing of it. When is he going to get? When are they going to pull the trigger on that? What are they holding back for? When are they holding back for? I don't think it's a matter of if, but when.
What about you, Brandon?
100% on board. Owen Hart. I mean, he was one of those guys back in the day. He was a technician in the ring. I mean, he was absolutely fantastic. He made any gimmick work. He just had that. I wish I would have met the guy. He just seemed like a good guy, and losing him the way we lost him, it was sad. I mean, he had so many more matches and so many great memories. Not only for us, watching him as a fan, but just as a whole, I just think he was just awesome. I would put him in the Hall of Fame, no questions asked. He was such a great wrestler.
Now, my question there, I'm kind of on the fence. He's a 1-time European champion, a 2-time Intercontinental champion, a 4-time Tag Team champion. He won the King of the Ring, and he won an Intercontinental Championship tournament back in 1997. But like I said, 2-time Intercontinental champion, the 0-time heavyweight champion, and that includes times in other federations. He wasn't really in any other federations for the most part. He was never really in, let's say, early AWA or NWA. He spent most of his time in either Stampede Wrestling or in the WWE, and he didn't really do too much. I'm going to say yes based on the current credentials for the WWE Hall of Fame, but I want to say that if he was an active wrestler, it would be a tough sell. If let's say it wasn't so tragic or he wasn't a Hart relative, then I would probably say no. I would say he gets in on the Hart name alone. That's what I'm going to say. Our Twitter question of the week from our fans on Twitter, the poll. Let's get the current updated results from everybody out there. Normally we give them first, so let's get those results right now. And the results are 80% yes, 20% no.
Yeah, that's why I thought it would be anyways.
But it is a question that, while a lot of people say duh, like Paul said duh, but it does have some sort of merit to it. So I feel like he should be in the Hall of Fame. My question is, if he's going to be, what is taking so long?
My thing is, why wouldn't they have done it years ago? I totally agree with you on that. His impact on wrestling. I mean, there's generations of fans. I mean, I was growing up as a kid, as a young person myself, and watching him in the ring. I enjoyed the matches. I mean, that the Hart Dungeon. I mean, everybody that came out of there was a hell of a talent. I mean, Natalia. I mean, she was the only female. And I think she was the last to to finish up in the Hart Dungeon and get herself in the ring, so to speak. I mean, did he have the 16 championships like John Cena? No. But I think he made an impact, at least for the hardcore fans, where I think he's, his credentials are there. And I mean, I hate